All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. So welcome to our Tuesday evening meeting. To start us off tonight, I'm going to ask you to join me in standing for a moment of silence before we move to the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So tonight we are starting a new process, and I want to turn this over to someone who will be with us for our evening meetings to make sure that we have translation services available. So welcome, Cassandra.
Thank you. So good evening. We're pleased to be able to provide Spanish interpretation services for those in attendance tonight. This includes interpretation during the meeting for those who want to provide public comment. If you're interested in these services, please visit the table outside the chamber. Buenas tardes. Estamos felices de proveer interpretación y servicios de interpretación en español para todos quienes asisten por la noche de hoy. Esta incluye interpretación durante la reunión de hoy. Se puede salirse aquí para un micrófono para usárselo y también si le gustaría dar un comentario público en español. Si tengan interés, por favor, se visita a la mesa ahí afuera o se puede hablar conmigo acá arriba. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Commissioners, next that will take us to our roll call.
Commissioner Jones,
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor,
Present.
Commissioner Lanier,
Present.
Commissioner Repart,
Here.
Commissioner Moody, Commissioner Kelly,
Present.
Mayor Bliss.
Here. All right, next that will take us to our first opportunity for public comment. So if you haven't been with us before for our evening meeting, I'll just walk you through the agenda. Hopefully you have a copy in front of you. A few things we have at the front, we have expected meeting procedures, so we'll ask you to go ahead and be mindful and respectful of those. And then tonight there are two opportunities for public comment. The very first one is if you are here to speak on something that we're actually voting on tonight. So earlier today we had a number of standing committee meetings, and during those meetings we voted on a number of issues. So if you're here to speak on one of those issues that we're voting on tonight, I'll have you come up. We ask that you share your name, the city that you live in, what item you're referring to, and then we'll give you up to 3 minutes to speak. If you are here to speak about something that is not on our agenda that we are not voting on tonight, I'm going to ask you to stay put, and we'll go ahead and call you up for our second opportunity for public comment, and that's a little bit later on in the meeting. So if you're here to speak to something that we're voting on, now's an opportunity to come forward. All right, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close that opportunity for public comment, and that will take us to the approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
All right, Commissioners, any questions or comments about our last meeting and the minutes? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next that will take us to petitions and communications.
First communication received from Christine Melitek expressing support for Electric Sound Provisioning Center.
All right, that's received and filed.
Communication received from Shirley Ewell regarding the noise ordinance.
That is received and filed.
Communication received from Kathleen Ray regarding noise levels after 11 o'clock.
That's received and filed.
Communication received by Divine Realty expressing support for electric sound.
That's received and filed.
Communication received from Fadia Taylor Klein expressing support for electric sound.
And that is also received and filed. All right, next that will take us to reports of city officers, and we have two items tonight.
The first one is the Comptroller's report for the period of October 31, 2019 through November 6, 2019, the amount of $11,690,352.02.
That's received and filed.
And Treasurer's report for the period of October 28, 2019 through November 3, 2019.
And that is also received and filed. So next that will take us to our consent agenda, and our consent agenda are items that we talked about this morning in one of our standing committee meetings and where there was a unanimous vote by this body. So tonight with one voice vote, we'll adopt those items. So can I get a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, Commissioners, any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next that will take us to ordinances to be adopted, and we have 2 ordinances before us tonight.
The first ordinance, repealing and replacing Article 5 of Chapter 151 of Title 9 of the City Code to update, condense, and clarify the noise control ordinance.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support. All right, let's see. Commissioner, can you tell me about this one? Commissioner Jones?
Yes, Mayor. These revisions seek to update, condense, and clarify the language of the noise control ordinance and implement substantive changes designed to keep the ordinance consistent with First Amendment case law while balancing protection of our citizens' health and welfare with their rights to the use and enjoyment of private and public property in an evolving urban environment.
All right. Commissioners, any questions or comments about this? We had a public hearing on it last week. Maybe I can ask our city attorney to respond. I know we had a number of comments about motorcycles. I do believe that that's in the state motor vehicle code.
Correct, it's governed by the motor vehicle code.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're
Just want to
welcome.
acknowledge that we heard from people who are very concerned about how disruptive they can be. So, all right, any other questions or comments? All right, this is a roll call vote tonight.
Commissioner Repart.
Yes.
Commissioner Moody.
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Lanier.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor. Mayor Bliss.
Yes. It carries. All right, next that will take us to our second ordinance tonight.
Related is ordinance to amend section 9.857.151 of chapter 170 of Title 9 of the City Code entitled nuisances to add civil fines for noise control ordinance violations.
All right, can I get a motion?
Support.
All right, Commissioner Repart, you want to tell us about this?
Yes, Mayor, so this proposed ordinance would set the fines for prohibited noises and violations of sound pressure limits at the same levels of those already set for loud sound systems in vehicles and other nuisances, $100, $200, and $400 for first, second, and subsequent offenses respectfully, and for prohibited entertainment and commercial sound at twice those levels.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All right, this is also a roll call vote tonight.
Commissioner Moody.
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Lanier.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor.
Yes.
Commissioner Repart.
Yes.
Mayor Bliss.
Yes, it carries. All right, and that will quickly take us to our next opportunity and final opportunity for public comment. So now's an opportunity to come forward and share anything that's on your mind. Same rules apply. We ask you to come on up to this microphone. We ask that you share your name, the city that you live in, and you'll be given up to 3 minutes to speak. We also ask that you put your name over there on that clipboard, like Mr. Peterson's doing, so that our city clerk here can make sure that the minutes are reflective and that your name is spelled appropriately. So, public comment is now available. Mr. Peterson, you can start.
Thank you. Received a call today from the sidewalk department about the subject of snow. And what the nice man told me was the position the city is in is that if some anonymous person complains, they have to basically go out and look at the snow and determine if it's up to the standard or not. There apparently is no in between. It bothers me that we don't have some sort of system to where a picture could be taken and the picture could just be computered in or something and the person could look at it without having to come out and look at it. And secondly, when I asked him about if you go out and you find that the snow is cleared to within 40-odd inches of the sides of the sidewalk and the snow is cleared to within 1/8 of an inch of the sidewalk, that you cannot make an allowance for that because there is no policy available to allow the individual from the city to make his own determination of whether this snow or lack of it is a problem. And as it's, I found that out by asking him for a copy of the policy, and when he said he couldn't give me a written copy of the policy, of course I thought of Mr. Washington, but he said there was no policy to give me a written copy of, so I would ask you to deliberate up some kind of a policy so maybe he can look and decide that some of us that do plow our snow are good enough and should not be fined at the same rate as people that don't do anything.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. All right, others wish to be heard?
Hi, Russ Olmsted, West Side, Grand Rapids. Just for the evening meetings, if it would be possible to have one set of tables that would be open for the public to be able to sit in the back instead of all reserved for city staff. Only reason I ask is because there are quite a few people who come to be able to take notes on computer or written notes for organizations or for news organizations, and it's important to be able to have surfaces to be able to write on. So if there's any way that we could actually just have a few sets that were set aside for that section, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ. Appreciate that.
How you doing, DeAndre Jones, still on the west side of Grand Rapids. First of all, Mayor Bliss, sorry I didn't get back with you when I told you I had something for you. I actually brought it for you this week. So when I went to the Forbes 30 under 30 summit, and just for everybody that asked me, no, I am not a Forbes lister. The reason I got this hat, I actually went to this event and ended up meeting somebody who helped me get into VIP, and they were actually giving out these hats. So just a piece of memorability to actually
Very nice.
just keep me goal driven and be able to try to make the list for positivity. But as I was saying, you mentioned earlier why we don't have any more salons. I actually ran into a lady who was actually presenting in a startup hub, and she actually had a salon. So it's called Little Belly Spa, and it's actually a pregnancy spa where women can actually get their hair done. They can actually get ultrasounds, and they can do a lot more. So what I didn't know is that here in America, when you have health insurance, your health insurance actually only covers 3 ultrasounds, but in Latin America, women get actually 9 ultrasounds. And so that's a big issue with me, just because I actually came from Link Up, and we were talking about healthy homes and the lead, and so I believe this is something that the city of Grand Rapids can definitely benefit from, just because I know people won't stop reproducing babies. And I just know that it's 44,000 people, I think they said, that don't have insurance. So just imagine the people, how much of a burden that is. And I also talked to Ken from the Bridge Street Market as I was talking about this ideal, and he had told me that he actually had to go to the doctor office more than 3 times, and those prices for the ultrasounds are pretty hefty. So I believe the average ultrasound costs about $350, but this brings the cost down to about $59 to $119, which is a large, substantial amount of money, especially from low-income areas and people that maybe not can afford it and want to continuously check on their child. And so I happened to bring this here, and also I went to the Forbes Summit, and I was able to create, I met a guy who created a company called Finley Hats. So with my youth initiative Jump Ahead that I created, I actually met a guy who was actually, I was able to collaborate with, and we're actually going to be doing a hat and gear collaboration to be able to donate some of that money back to charities in the proceeding. And so other than my charity organization, I'm looking to try to raise some money and actually give back to other charities and kind of expand what I'm doing. So I'll be looking to try to maybe send that the mock-ups of the hats to the city clerk, and the patch is going to be actually leather. So I have this information for you, and I've been able to make some cool moves and hopefully contribute to the city. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, DeAndre. You can bring that right up. Thank you. I like the hat.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Good afternoon.
Good
City
afternoon.
Commissioners, Theodis Bates, southeast side of Grand Rapids, Michigan here. Once again, I'm advocating for veterans and also the homeless people here in the state of Michigan. And I've done some time and research and looked into things with outside of Grand Rapids or in the state of Michigan, and found where there are states like Oregon and California that has a cap on affordable housing at a 5% ratio and a 7% ratio. Now, this is something next that I will be taking on to the governors to see if she can look into this thing, to see if we can make it a little better for our state, so that we can all make it a little more comfortable for people to have affordable housing here in the state of Michigan. But we do have a major fight among ourselves as far as veterans, trying to get veterans off the street. And we're going to need help outside of what I'm doing. I'm working with a lot of veterans. Got a couple of guys going today, but a little bit at a time, but I'm going to need help. So I'm going to actually, I have some printouts for you guys that you guys might want to look at a little later on. I want to leave you with so that you might have an idea of the areas that I'm trying to push ourselves in the state of Michigan. But I'm looking forward to seeing and having a talk with the governor because I'm going to push this. I know she's not in the state at this present time, but I hope that you guys might take time out to review these things and take into consideration that we might be able to make it a better place for a lot of homeless people out here. And it's not going to be easy for just myself, and I'm going to need help. So I'm hoping you guys might be able to help out and reach out and see what you think about this 5% interest or cap and a 7% cap on maybe we might be able to do something even better. So is there, can I give this to you, sir? Pass around.
Thank you.
I want to thank you guys for your time and have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you for your work. Hi, welcome.
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Joshua Smith, Grand Rapids Marine Corps veteran, and I go to group with Theo, and I do want to say every Friday at 11:30 there's a homeless veteran group, and it's ran by another individual in this room right now, and you guys are more than welcome so you guys can see this problem because it is a problem. And now what these landlords are doing, they're charging $150 cleaning fee before you even move in, on top of the security deposit and everything. You know, it pretty much makes it impossible for these veterans to get off the streets. And there is a homeless veteran Christmas party on December 21st at 5 o'clock on 36th Street. And I can give you guys more information. You guys are more than welcome to come. And you guys got to really see what we're going through, because if you don't see it, you don't know it. And I appreciate your time, and I hope you remember me, Mayor. You guys, thank you for your time.
It's great to see you. Thank you, Joshua. Hi, welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor. My name is Teresa Phillips.
That's good
I'm in the
news.
49507 zip code. I'm here to talk about the odd and even parking. It went into effect on November the 1st. I understand the reason behind the odd and even parking, the reason that we need the odd and even parking for the snow plows and everything to get through. I have spoken with this gentleman back here about the 311. I have spoken with my neighbors and other city people and neighborhood entities. But my problem is the fact that on November the 1st, 3 different homes threw a house party. So therefore, there was not room for all of us to get on one side of the street, which made it an issue where some of us had to park on the next street over, which made their street a problem. You know, it just went on and on. And then we parked on like Garden Street or Hall Street. You can't park on Hall Street, but Garden Street was pretty full. And we understand that, okay, we just all got to get along. But then we also have these people that have driveways. They have not felt the need to park in their driveway lately. And I'm like, get in your driveway because you're taking my spot. I should not have to park on the next street over and walk to get to my house. And if y'all can come up with some kind of a remedy or action, this would be appreciated because, several things have been thrown out, like so many cars per houses or, because the demographic has changed in the neighborhood. The amount of cars have changed in the neighborhood. A lot more people driving now than it was 20 years ago. And this is really becoming a problem, because parking your driveway, and then people that do have driveways, they don't want their company to park in their driveway. Then don't have company, or tell your company to park on the opposite side that we have to park on. Because there's no reason why I should wait until your company leave, then go trot out, get my car to bring it back to put it on the right side of the street. It's getting crazy. But thank you.
Thank you. All right, others wish to be heard? Hello, welcome.
Hi. Good night. Well, I am Angelica. I'm very concerned about the South Division location for marijuana things. The community is very concerned. We have like a 500 signature, but the people, they don't want something like that. I get some papers. I want to give it to you. And I have a petition to your consideration to don't let it open there. We have a lot of trouble with marijuana things there. I'm nervous. What is, can you help me, please? I'm nervous. Well, pues soy Angélica.
I'm Angelica.
Realmente la comunidad se ha estado acercando a nosotros para hablar acerca del problema que hay. Están tocando puertas la gente para que aprueben un negocio de marihuana en el vecindario.
So there's been someone who's been coming knocking on doors, talking to people in the community about a new business for marijuana that could be coming to the community.
Y desafortunadamente ya tenemos un montón de vendedores de marihuana alrededor por muchos años.
Unfortunately, for many years now, we've had a lot of people selling marijuana around the area.
Tenemos problemas con personas alcohólicas en la calle, sentados haciendo pipí en la calle y estamos preocupados por traer más vicios a nuestra comunidad.
So we already have people, maybe they're drinking alcohol or alcoholic, they're in the streets, they're peeing in the streets. We already have those problems. We're trying not to bring more problems to the street.
Tenemos muchas escuelas juntas alrededor y tenemos muchas iglesias también alrededor, tratando de tener mejores vecindarios, trayendo a la juventud hacia al camino del bien y esto nos va a traer más consecuencias.
So we have a lot of schools in the area. We have a lot of churches. We're trying to work closely with youth to help them take good paths, but this would make it even more difficult.
Y pues traje unos papeles.
So I brought some papers.
No problem.
Thank you.
You can take them all and pass them down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You did a great job. All right, others wish to be heard?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commission. I'm David Davis, as you well know. I live on Front Avenue at 10th Street. And last week, just before I came to the meeting here, there was this very serious and violent and threatening incidents there. I have to commend the City Police Department for doing a fine job, and since then, they have also increased their patrols in this general area. Again, I need to advocate, we need more police officers, because when they're police in this area, they're depriving another area of police protection. So again, we need more police officers. Thank you on that point. Next, Grand Rapids has got the MLives program here for communications. About 3 weeks ago, they increased the price of the Grand Rapids Sunday paper from $2 to $3. To my calculations, that's a 50% increase. So therefore, I no longer buy the Sunday paper. We need a central communications area in the city of Grand Rapids that takes care of our information here in the city, who's being elected, who's being voted for, and everything like that. Because we're not getting it in any other way. It's piecemeal by going from one email or electronic communication to another. We don't get the full picture without going through all of that, the general public. And I find it hard to find out the information. So I'd like to see something done to create a new form of communications for the public. Lansing has a newspaper that publishes 7 days a week. It's a smaller city than Grand Rapids. If they can do it, why can't we? and that. And I'm glad about the information on the motorcycles coming to front, and so this is a state issue, and we'll have to address it at that issue, I believe, if I'm correct. Lost for words, man. I did go to the City Planning Commission meeting last week. We presented issues there on some of the projects that different people are presenting to build in the city of Grand Rapids. It was an interesting meeting. I learned a lot about how it's done, and again, it's something a lot of people would be wise to attend if they have the time. Thank you for your time and your effort and for hearing my pros and cons. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. All right, others wish to be heard? Hi, welcome.
Hi, good evening. Reggie Howard, a proud new owner, homeowner in Grand Rapids. So I just want to say last Wednesday, I had the privilege to graduate from the Citizens Police Academy, and it just opened up my heart. Not only did it open up my heart, it opened up my eyes to some of the things I like to see in our city. I noticed at some of our high schools, we don't have recruitment posters like at Ottawa Hills for our police department. Also, we don't have recruitment posters for firefighters at our high school. Neither do we have them for ambulance drivers. These are some of the things that I think some of our young people need to see in school to know it's okay to want to go to the police academy. It's okay to want to be a police officer. It's okay to want to be a firefighter. But we're not advertising that in our city. And as we try to build our relationship between our police department and our citizens and have a diverse department, I would like to know if we can do something about that. Also, now that we're allowing marijuana in our city of Grand Rapids, also would like to see a recovery program offered at our high schools that some of us that's been in recovery, like myself, can go in and let students know, hey, look, when it becomes a problem, we have a solution. Because it's going to become a problem. People are going to abuse marijuana. But when it becomes at our high school levels and stuff, I would like for us to be at the forefront of giving them something to fall back on. Also, not only the recovery program, I would like to have a mentorship. As we work with our young people in our community, let's embrace them. We want to go out and let them know that we support them. I can't tell you how much I learned from our police department. I have a newfound respect for our police department. I went in with closed eyes. Man, we had dialogue that was amazing. I mean, if you ever been on a ride-along, and if you haven't, I encourage you, man, these ride-alongs, man, these cops go through it. You know, I really take my hat off to them. Sometimes in our city, I wish we could make a video to just show the people on what our city goes through. Just like you, as you sit on this commission board, sometimes our city needs to know exactly what people go through that's serving in our city. And I just like to say thank you, and thank you for some of the doors that you have opened in our city, like our Safe Task, Stop the Violence, things you have done that have really helped me go out and help other young men and women. And I just hope we can continue to build our city. Grand Rapids is a great city, and I love it. I'm so glad I came back here. I served in the Navy. I thank my my other fellow veterans. We served our country. We come back home to be of service to our city. Our city needs us, but we also need you. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. And thank you for your service. All right, others wish to be heard?
Hi, my name is Mario Leone. I'm the the bilingual community liaison for Link Up. Community police relations are an important issue in Grand Rapids, and we thank the Commission for creating a position that helps provide support and leadership in this important work. We at Link believe that communities want to be a part of crafting these solutions with GRPD, and Brandon in his new role will create a needed infrastructure at City Hall to allow this work to happen. At Link, we often come out here to tell you that you need to actually do more, but today I wanted to come here on behalf of Link and the community we serve to thank you, Brandon and Chief Payne, for recognizing the importance of the issue and putting a position in place that can help bring about that change. That being said, I would like to invite all the public, As you know, Link Up hosts a free dinner pre every city commission meeting on December 3rd. Chief Payne will be our special guest to talk to the community. Please feel free, everyone who wants to come join us at Link Up 1167 Madison Southeast, 5 p.m. Also, I want to congratulate you and Melinda on your election. We're very proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for that input. All right, others wish to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the opportunity for public comment, and I will turn to my colleagues, and I think I'll start down here tonight with Commissioner Repart.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for coming out. My brain is tired. It's been a long day. And so I do want to just express my appreciation for the teamwork that we experienced yesterday and today as a commission, and all the staff in preparation for yesterday and today. Everybody is so committed, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of this team.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Moody?
Yeah, I too want to thank everybody for coming out and hearing everybody tonight. Also, I want to thank Mr. Howard. You said you bought a new home. Is it in the 3rd Ward? All right. All right. Well, that means we got to put you to work. But thank you very much, and I'm glad you succeeded in getting your certificate from the Police Academy. I know you were really pushing for others to join you and do that, so please continue to be an advocate for that.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. It's a shorter meeting than normally, so we're pretty happy about that, just because we've had back-to-back meetings all day long. But it's always good to see all of you coming and giving us public comment. And I would encourage you to, if you haven't done so yet, take a look at the strategic plan that we worked on several months ago. We had an update yesterday, and I think we're all very thrilled around this table for how smoothly that process went. And thank our city manager for leading us through that and for developing some metrics so that you all can see the progress that we are making. So thank you for coming tonight.
Commissioner Lanier?
Yes, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and sharing feedback, and I'd like to publicly thank Daniel for being present, because every time you're present, we have a short meeting.
He's a lucky rabbit.
I see what you're doing. I see this. Yes, we did. Commissioner O'Connor? Commissioner Jones?
Just want to thank everyone for your presence here tonight, and also wish everyone a very safe and blessed Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank you, Commissioner. City Clerk, anything? Nope. City Attorney? City Manager?
My appreciation to the staff for the work that's been done, as mentioned earlier, preparing for back-to-back meetings, and thank you, commissioners, for your work as well.
Thank you. And I will end just with a quick update. So tonight before this meeting at 5:30, this body interviewed 2 candidates who had applied for the city comptroller position. So both of those interviews were taped. So if you want to see them, you can go online and take a look at the 2 candidates that we'll be considering. I've asked our city clerk to put it on the agenda for our committee of the whole meeting on December 3rd at our next meeting for us to discuss the candidates and very likely make a decision. And then also want to remind everyone that on December 17th will be our swearing-in ceremony, where we will be swearing in our commissioner-elect, who's with us tonight, new commissioner-elect for the 2nd Ward, Melinda Yassesi, as well as the other individuals who are elected, and hopefully a new comptroller will be sworn in that night as well. So with that, I'll add my thanks to everyone, all of the staff I see in the back, who helped with the workshop yesterday, the planning workshop, and then I know you all have had a long day as well. So thank you for your service. And with that, we're adjourned.